What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 10 of Mercs Corner. And this is a little bit of a different episode because I'm in Orlando, as I've mentioned, and we are going to Halloween Horror Nights. And it's been a fun, very fun week, very busy, exhausting week. So this video is coming out a little bit later than I expected, but I guess better late than never, right? So I made a few stops, and I just want to share that with you guys. So let's get on with it. So before we get into this video, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, it is definitely appreciated, and definitely goes a long way to help out the channel. So let's get into this video finally now. This week, like I said, it's going to be a little bit different. I don't even have my tripod with me, so I'm kind of holding the camera with my hand, if that explains anything. But anyway, yeah, so this week I went to Gods and Monsters, the comic book shop, more like a nerd shop. It's pretty cool, pretty awesome. Of course, comics, but they have a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, Magic the Gathering, different figures, old nostalgic stuff, anything like nerd or pop culture kind of things like that. They even had like old magazines and things like that there too. But the cool thing is they had, it's called the Vault something. There's like Vault, it's a number. I forget the name of the but anyway, what it is it's an actual like end of day doomsday kind of bar type of thing, and apparently it's an actual bar. We were there during the day where it was closed, like the bar itself was closed, but you could still go inside, and they had like an old Super Nintendo system set up. I think it was like there was like a Sega Genesis, I think it was, maybe a couple of old vintage video game systems hooked up, and you could just walk in there and play, whatever games that they had available. And that was pretty cool. So while I was walking around looking at all the comics and things like that, uh, it my wife and my niece and my brother-in-law, they were in there playing the old games. So that was pretty cool. My wife says that that's her favorite comic book shop now, by the way. Well, to me, it's a comic book shop because I go there for the comics. But pretty awesome. I was able to pick up one thing from there, which is Philadelphia, the trade, the second trade. I have the first trade, volume 1. So this is volume 2. So yeah, I picked that up from Gods and Monsters. Pretty cool. I like it. It's something that I needed, and yeah, it was pretty awesome. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I picked up from Gods and Monsters. It's a really cool store. I mean, it's just like you don't believe how big it is until you go inside, because it just goes back, and then the bar, the vault, is like in the back to the right, kind of off in the cut, because it's supposed to be set like an apocalyptic end of days kind of theme to the bar. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, the comics, they got a lot of comics. One of my favorite things about the comic books section is they got like little roller chairs, because all of the back issues they have on the bottom underneath the racks on the wall, the new comics, all the back issues are in the short boxes and long boxes on the floor. So they have chairs, like little stools with wheels on them, so you can like sit in them while you're going through the back issues and things like that. Little subtle touch, but I love it. It makes a big difference. So Gods and Monsters, if you're ever in Orlando, definitely go check them out. They have a reward system where every $10 you spend or whatever, you get a stamp, and then each stamp, after you get them all stamped, you get like discounts or something or another. So pretty cool. Take advantage of that if you ever go. So Gods and Monsters in Orlando, Florida, highly recommend. Check it out if you're ever here. So the real reason we are here in Orlando is to go to Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights, and let me tell you, it has not disappointed at all. If you get a chance to come, ever go to Universal, more specifically Halloween Horror Nights, definitely recommend it, man. They got like different houses themed every year. This year is no shortage of great houses. So yeah. But the main thing I want to talk about in this video is the tribute store in Universal. Now, if you're not familiar, the tribute store, basically what they do is it's a store that they theme to whatever event that's going on at the time, basically. And of course, since the event that's going on right now is Halloween Horror Nights, HHN, the theme of the store this year is they set it up like a comic book shop. And I thought it was really cool. Now, when you go inside, they got all the merchandise for the different houses and all kinds of stuff, man. It's a pretty awesome store. A lot of cool merchandise. But the thing that's really cool about it is when you walk through the house, everything is set up. You see the scenery, a lot of horror comic book images. And it's like you can actually go through the store and kind of follow a story pretty much. And I'm like, man, this is pretty cool. So you're walking through, you see different parts of a comic book, and you get to wondering, is there an actual comic book to go along with this? Like, is this just something random, or is there an actual comic book? And the answer to that is yes. So the images, when you go through the tribute store, the images that you see, the comic book images, are from this comic book, which they made for HHN. So it's already going to be, I mean, they don't really give you like an actual number of these that they print, but I couldn't imagine it being that high. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But this issue, actually, where you see the green on the cover, is the second printing. You see right there. So it's the second printing. The first was, I think, instead of green on the cover, it was red, I believe. And yeah, I mean, it sold out quickly. I was not here. That sold out. The first printing sold out before I got to Orlando. So I missed out on that. But I was lucky enough they don't really announce these. So you just gotta have to check every day or every so often. And that's what I did. And I found the second printing right here. And more than likely, I'm guessing that that's probably sold out by now too, honestly. But yeah, so I picked it up. So this is like the main cover, and everything you see in the tribute store, the comic book theme, the comic book scenes that you see around the store are from this comic book, like I said. Now, what is cool is before HHN started, you could have the option to buy a variant cover for this, a one-of-one variant cover. And what it is, you pay $80 and you can basically have your picture put on the cover of this comic book. So my wife and I was like, yes, that's an awesome, cool idea. $80, it's $80, but it's one of one. There's no other one like it, ever. So when you go through the store, you end up at about halfway through the store, you end up going through a hallway. And in that hallway, on the wall on each side, are comic books displayed for people that have picked their variant cover. And we finally found ours, and it was so cool to see our comic book on the wall on display, our picture on the comic book. It was just, I don't know, to me it's the coolest thing, man. So after HHN is finished and over, they will ship it to our house. And yeah, so I wanted the main cover, which I got right here. The second printing, but I got the main cover. I might get, if I can, I might get a third printing, possibly, if I can catch it while they're here. Now on Wednesday, the 27th, the creative team that put this together are going to be at the Five and Dime store at Universal, signing autographs and things and stuff. So I'm going to, on Wednesday, on the 27th, I'm gonna try to get that signed. Get that, yeah, because that's just cool. So I'll have a signed, autographed comic on the main cover, the second printing, and then I'll also have the one of one variant with my wife and I on that cover. That's freaking awesome, right? I think so. Yeah, man, I'm excited about it. So if you're ever here, man, definitely check it out. And also too, man, HHN, my brother-in-law and my niece, it's been awesome going through the scare zones and the houses, which are the haunted houses. Um, it's just been fun. Now, it's not for everybody. I get that. Not everybody's into the scary stuff and all that. But between the houses, the scare zones, they even have different areas like themed with food, like food themes in the park. Like, for example, they have the Last of Us house and the Stranger Things house from Stranger Things season 4. They also have food stands outside the area that serve food that are inspired by those shows. Or the Last of Us house is themed based off the video game, not necessarily the TV show, but it's definitely cool, man. It's cool. It's so cool. Highly recommend. And I'm ready to go again tonight. I got my Dueling Dragons shirt on, so that's another thing that my wife and I do. We get shirts that that are for HHN. The different houses have their own shirts and things like that. So pretty cool, man. So yeah. So there you have it. Episode 10 of Mercs Corner is in the books. A little bit of different of an episode, but please, if you like it, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Like it goes a long way, and hope you enjoy it. And see you guys in the next one.